We go.
Here we are, here and now, with Steve Struggle and myself, Dr. Abraham. And we're being confronted by a fascist mobilization of ICE, which is recruited from the Proud Boys, like Proud Boys who are rewarded with $50,000 recruitment bonus. Okay, so one of these Proud Boys, went after Ms. Good as she was trying to drive away, and this guy comes up to her, thinking that he's got more powers than a policeman because he thinks he's operating under martial law. Under martial law, the military comes in and they assume all the powers of the police and assume more powers than the police and tell everybody, the where to go and whether or not they can leave their homes. Okay, so this guy, Ross is his name, he's been identified. He comes up to her after all the other ICE agents, are just sort of, standing around doing nothing. And because nothing was happening. So this guy comes up to her and orders her out of her van for no good reason, tries to open up the door, grabs hold of the handle. It seems like the door is locked. It seems like the driver, Madame Good, didn't even know that he was trying to open up the door. She's sort of, turning the wheels to turn away from the ICE agents to leave, as she was instructed to do. And the guy pulls out his gun, like he's really hyper, as if he's insane. And he, points his gun at her, and orders her to get out of her car for no good reason. And then he shoots because she doesn't get out of the car right away. One shot. And then the car keeps on moving. And he goes over to the side window and shoots her in the head twice again. Three shots. Oh, heavy duty. Okay, so this is what fascists do. Okay, we see, like it's all recorded. We now know what a fascist is, like here's an example, and everybody can see for themselves, like how it works. So the way it works is this, fascists, they pick on the weakest, the least defensive person available, and they will kill them, just for resisting what they consider to be resisting. What is resisting? Resisting is not obeying, being disobedient, as if you were in primary school and if you were disobedient because you talked too much, because you had too much to say, well, then you get punished with a death penalty. That's the way it works now. And then I saw this video that Steve, you sent me on WhatsApp, three cops beating up on one guy. And being up on him, like for a prolonged period of time, even though, he was already sort of incapacitated. It's incredible, what the American cops, try to get away with. But they're not getting away with it, are they? There's a mass mobilization now. And perhaps this is what was being planned because they want to have martial law. So, if they can have mass mobilizations happening, and confronting with the ICE agents, everywhere at the same time, then they can say, well, this is an insurrection. Well, maybe it is. Okay. This is an insurrection against fascism. Okay. So, once they have an insurrection happening, then they'll bring in the Insurrection Act, and then that, enables them to declare martial law and then continue in the same fashion as they have, in this particular instance. And this will become generalized. So then what do we do, Steve? What do we do?
Well, I thought about that this morning, and I have a word that I think represents what I'm feeling, and that's tyranny.
Hmm.
The murders of up to 100 people in Venezuela, the bombing of Nigeria, the bombing of Somalia, the murders of the Venezuelans on the high seas, the seizing of Venezuelan oil on the high seas. Just think about what I just said. One country's doing all that.
Hmm.
I'm saying France did bomb Benin with Nigeria's assistance, but France hasn't been on a rampage like that. No, they have not. Okay. I'm not going to mention the Ukraine, NATO, Russia war because you got a war going on. So the war is different than what I'm explaining.
Hmm.
A document comes out. We we're gonna just we're gonna use this new document to justify what we do. It is tyranny. Now you have them. Now I'm gonna say something here, and don't be upset. They're killing white people now. No, I'm saying that because most of the demonstrators against ICE have been white people. They have
Yeah.
been, and that's a good thing. It's not just black people, not just Latin people. It's been white Americans coming out, and that's a great development. It is.
Yeah.
It is. It's a great development to see this, and now they're
And
killing them.
yeah, and that's going to mobilize a lot more,
Yeah, exactly. It's going to mobilize a lot. I'm not saying people wasn't mobilized around George Floyd. I'm not talking that did happen. And that was white people too, by the way. Yes, it was. It wasn't black people. It was a lot of white people mobilized to defend George Floyd, and that was good. So what I'm saying is, hey, when they kill a white person, you go, whoa, wait a minute, you've gone too far. I'm not. I'm just saying that the American dynamic. When a white person gets killed, OMG, what's going on here? When Maduro gets kidnapped, well, yeah, well, he's a dictator. I'm not saying everybody's saying that, but plus he's brown skinned. And plus, has anybody seen how his wife got beat up, by the way? She's all bruised up, man. Somebody really put a
yeah.
whooping on her, man. Seriously. This is an elder. If you look at her pictures, her eyes are bruised. And George Galloway brought to my attention. The point is, this is tyranny.
Um,
This is the outright um, tyrannical rule of a government, the United States government. It could be Obama doing it. It could be Trump doing it. It could be Biden doing it. It could be Jimmy Carter doing it. It could be the Bushes doing it. Trump is the one in charge, but it's the United States nonetheless. And for
hmm.
him to say, for Vance to say, this officer has immunity, it's saying they can do anything they want, and don't worry about it. We got your back. That's his line now. Is because Vance is talking about this, not Trump. I find it interesting. Vance is the one talking, not Trump.
Hmm.
So there's something going on there. Usually Trump would talk, not Vance.
Hmm.
But yeah, the officer has immunity. So basically, he can kill anybody he wants. We can kill, we can murder Venezuelans. There's no condolences, no apologies, no remorse. We can kill Venezuelans on the high seas. Again, when that's what I'm saying is tyrannical, because no, there's no semblance that maybe we've overstepped or maybe we shouldn't. It's the same thing with Israel and Gaza and the West Bank. They can bomb the West Bank. They can attack Gaza. They can attack Lebanon. They can attack Syria. They can attack anywhere they can go to. What were they in? Um, was it in Oman or Dubai? They bomb somebody. They can go anywhere they want, do anything they want. It's a parallel kind of tyrannical rule. It's parallel. No apologies, no remorse, no accountability.
Hmm.
No accountability. And that's
Yeah,
tyranny.
of the
That's,
negotiating team.
yeah,
Incredible.
that's tyranny.
The right to
That's it. Crazy
kill.
thing about it. That the parallel government, Israel and the United States, they just project their violence and sanctions, which are illegal, because only the United Nations can impose sanctions that can be held to account. Seizing Russia's money, the European Union seizing Russia's sovereign wealth, seizing Venezuela's sovereign wealth. Remember, I think it's in Britain. They seized their money too. They even stole Maduro's airplane a couple of years ago. Just took his airplane.
Mm.
So this is how bullies, this is how gangs operate. Bullies and gangs operate this way. So basically, the United States and Israel show themselves to be rogue gangster governments. And the people of those governments have to, the people who are conscious in those governments have to be careful. Here's why. If Vance can say the officer is immune, basically he's saying, I can shoot you too. Don't worry about it. I can shoot you. Ain't nothing gonna happen to nobody. So you got to get your defense in order. I'm saying what you better do. You better get your passport in order if you have to flee or go underground. You better have some. I'm just saying things. You better have some money in the bank if you have to get out of here and go somewhere. You need to
Mm.
make sure that you're ready to defend yourself because they're carrying out rogue, tyrannical actions. You may be next. Don't be scared. Just be aware it could happen to you. That's all.
Yeah,
That,
this reminds what you were saying, reminded me of the time when I was in Palestine. We were at it wasn't really a demonstration even, it was just we went, to cultivate, the land of a friend of ours. And there, under martial law, the military says that if you haven't cultivated your lands, within a period of 3 years, then the lands are confiscated, okay, and given to, some sort of colony. So we went to our friend's lands there, which is right next to a colony on top of the hill, a Zionist colony, and we're cultivating. We're digging up the land, with this, tractor that we got a ride up to the top of the hill. Well, actually, a mountain. And we got detained. The soldiers came down and said, first of all, a settler came, sat there, with his rifle, you know, sitting there watching us, staring at us, with his rifle. So finally, the military comes, and they take us into detention for 4 hours, take away my camera, and we're sitting there, and then the colonists, come there offering coffee to the soldiers, not to us. And then there's one soldier, like sitting next to me, he says to me, I could shoot you, like just like that, like there's no law, no rule of law anymore. They can do, like fascists, they can do whatever they want. And then
yeah,
they get backed up by their masters
they sure
because
do.
they want, fascist anarchy in order to proclaim martial law, in order to, get rid of the people that are in their way. Okay, so I said to this soldier, you can't shoot me because there was already a soldier who had just been put into prison, for killing a Palestinian who was down, who was shot, and they were standing around stopping the ambulances from coming to give him to save his life. He's
Stopping
bleeding
the
out.
ambulances. Stopping the ambulances. See, tyrannical gangster. Just yeah.
And so this one soldier, whose name is Seria, walks up to the guy and shoots him in the head, with the cameras going. Okay. So, he was put on trial and he was convicted and he was put into prison. So I said to this guy, no, you can't, because then you would go into prison, like Casaria. And the guy shut up. He never spoke to me again. Really. And then they tried to play nice. And then the soldiers, came over, took some of the coffee from the colonists, woman,
They gave you some coffee.
offers me a coffee. And I say, no, thanks. I don't want coffee from you. And he says, but it's, like the coffee is made by the Palestinians. Yeah, as if, exploiting the Palestinians,
Oh, they gave you coffee. Oh no. Oh my God. I'm sorry to laugh. This is hilarious. This is absurd. He threatens to shoot you, and then he gives you coffee. Whoa! Oh, oh my goodness! Ooh, I wanted to offer Maduro some coffee. It's from Colombia. It's Colombian coffee. Come on, take it. I mean, come on, man. You can't make this stuff up, can you? You can't make this stuff up. What? Oh, I'm sorry. This is so hilarious. You can't make it up. Oh my God.
They want to be loved, they think everybody should, like is supporting them or something like this, so
Oh, oh my God. Oh my God. Oh man, oh man. I'm so sorry. Get you coffee. Oh, it's for the Palestinians. Oh no. Oh, that's too much. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's too much. Whoa. Yeah, but yeah. So, I mean, yeah, 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 yeah. So I don't
it's
know.
dramatic.
Yeah.
Whether it was or they copied them, like it's bad stuff, And then the military there is supposed to be, defending the Palestinians against the colonists because the West Bank military administration or military martial law rule is called COGOT, Commission for something or other, like a coexistence. They have the word coexistence in there. They're supposed to be implementing coexistence, But when the colonists come, to attack, they usually come, these adolescent macho kids, like coming in there, to the villages, with long sticks, coming to beat on the Palestinians, to try to drive them out and take away their lands, this particular village. Okay, so the military comes and they stand there and they watch. Why? Because the military are the colonists. They're recruited from the colonists and they do their service, within the area in which they're previously living. Okay, so their friends, are the colonists, fascists, are coming to beat on the Palestinians. So they're not going to sort of, stop them. It used to be, that they were assigned, to some other area, where they didn't know the people, so they couldn't be favorites. But now, no. Okay. But some soldiers actually do oppose the colonists. Okay, nonetheless. And what happens? The colonists attack the soldiers. The fascist militia attacking their own military in the West Bank. This is happening as well. Bizarre, bizarre. And that's where I'm going to go. I'm going to go there, and then I get to talk to the colonists in Yiddish, but they don't know Yiddish. So they're going to be at a disadvantage right then and then. And I'm going to tell them that they're a bunch of wilde chaya. Wilde chaya in Yiddish means wild animals, and they should be able to understand at least that, basic, Yiddish. And if they don't, they can ask, and if they don't know, then I'm going to translate it for them. And I'm going to get myself a bullhorn, like see what I can do now. Now, I don't think they can come after me though. But if they do, I know how to defend myself anyway, so no problem.
They'll give you coffee this time. First time I give you Mr. Houston. No, they'll give you some dates, right? They give you dates, right? They give you some
Uh, Palestinian dates.
right, yeah. Of course, Palestinian did some dates. Palestinian dates. Oh man.
Okay,
Well,
so
yeah.
are they going to get away with this? Are they going to be able to declare, like this is going to grow? Okay, so
Oh yeah, it's
are
gonna
they going
grow.
to
Yeah, it's
march
gonna grow.
along and term elections or what? What's their plan?
We don't know what the plan is, but we know they plan to do ICE raids continually, and there are gonna be demonstrations today. And I'm not sure if they'll shoot somebody next week, but ICE doesn't plan to stop. See, ICE is stormtroopers. ICE are stormtroopers. They're on ICE and Border Patrol are stormtroopers now. This shows you they do what they want because they're in LA. They're acting up like they ran the joint. We don't have to listen. We don't have to contact the mayor about anything. When somebody says it about your government, they're stormtroopers. So Trump and Vance, the government's going to continue to stormtroopers. People like AOC, and I'm not sure what AOC and Ilhan Omar are going to do, and the squad and those people in the Democratic Party. Um, Hopefully, people will continue to come out and continue to mobilize against ICE. Uh, as far as Maduro trial goes, there are some people that claim that the goal will be to exchange a prisoner with somebody, and Maduro will be sent somewhere else, into China or Russia somewhere. That's the way down the road. But um, who was looking at his case? Oh, Alexander Mercur is looking at his case, and he was saying, and he's a lawyer, he was saying the charges are so How do you charge the president of a country with having a machine gun in his own country? I don't
Hmm.
get. I mean, just things like that. And there's been a problem in the United States. People in the U.S. who pay attention will know, and those who are not here, or those who don't pay attention won't know. There's been a problem with the Bondi, with the Cash Patel, Pam Bondi, Attorney General, FBI, Justice Department, prosecution. There have been a couple of prosecutions of, there was a prosecution of a Trump enemy, or he considered an enemy, Mrs. James. She's a black woman. She's a prosecutor. She prosecuted Trump on some charges, and I think she got a conviction. I'm not sure, but she was a target, as was James Comey, the ex-FBI director. Um, and there was the person in charge of the prosecution didn't even have the right to it was some kind of restriction they had of what they could do as an attorney, and they came to court as the attorney of record, and from the government and the judge said you can't even prosecute this court. So this a big case was thrown out. So as I understand it, the judge in Maduro case supposedly is an art Zionist. Um, I read this somewhere. I need to verify it, who he really is. But this district, this New York, somebody everybody should look at is a recent release of a guy named Garland Nixon. He's on YouTube, and he's talking about how this certain the courts of the United States are organized into certain jurisdictions on the state level and the national level. On the national level, there's a district of some city, of either a city or I think a city or a state. So the district in New York City is known to railroad people. They've been known to get convictions. They just convict. There's no there's no acquittals there. It's just convictions. So he's saying that that's why the Maduro was brought to, that's why the case was brought in New York to frame him up. They drove him downtown in a van. It was open. The police, whoop, whoop, all the sirens were going on. The door was open. It was just like when they had a slave or some fugitive, they bring him back to town, and the Klan and the lynch mob come out to try and hang you right there. That's how they brought Maduro in. So they definitely want, and the killing of Miss Good shows that they don't really care. They don't care about when you're a stone gangster, and you have the town in your control. You don't care about the outcomes. See, they don't care about this is what is concerning many people, that this government doesn't a Democratic Party government might be concerned about the outcomes because they want to, I'm a Democrat, I'm for the people, that kind of, Republicans don't give a damn. They're essentially a authoritarian fascist government, an authoritarian fascist party, and they don't really care. So I think there's going to be some tough times ahead. People should demonstrate. People should organize. I'm not saying you shouldn't, but I don't think the government's going to listen to the demonstrations. Trump doesn't acknowledge. And what's interesting about this, though, there's a thing called No King's Day. The Democrats have held two No King's Day so far to get people against Trump, and they've been very quiet. No King's Day, people have said nothing about the Good killing, the murder. They said nothing about Venezuela because they are pro-government Democratic Party types. So that's what's going to be interesting next month in No King's Day. They better hope it dies down, because if that's the case, this movement will take it over. If this movement continues, they'll either cancel No King's Day, the Democrats, or it's going to be taken over, because
Hmm.
people are just going to come. They're organized already, and they'll come with their organizations. In a sense, they'll be the dominant force in No King's Day. Maybe in not all cities, but in LA, Chicago, the majority cities where Democratic people were the Democratic Party mayors. Yeah. So I think that's one thing that they're concerned about. The Democrats, they're not saying it now. It's not in the news now. But No King's Day is in about a month, and this movement will not die in 1 month. When you start murdering, again, excuse me, start murdering white people in demonstrations, that's not going to die too fast. This,
Uh-huh.
because of the value of white life. I'm just saying, when it comes to protest, black people can be killed, immigrants can be brutalized, Haitians can be whipped by the horse. Asians, Koreans can be sent back, but don't put your hands on white people. And Trump says, no, I'll kill white people too. And see, he's really crossed the line there. I don't think he realized that. Because now, hey, look what we did to her. Look, see, she's demonstrating, yeah. She's protesting, yeah, and it's murder for protesting. That's what she was murdered for. Like what they're not saying is, okay, let's just play devil's advocate. Okay, you're messing with me as a law enforcement officer. I'm doing something. Do I have to just kill you? No. Do I have to just murder you? No. There are non-lethal ways of getting somebody to step back. I'm playing devil's advocate now. I'm not. That's not my position. But law enforcement has many ways of getting you off, to back up. I can stick a dog on you. I can stop your car, grab you out, and have the dog bite you. I mean, I don't propose that. But murdering somebody is a bit much. And I'm shooting you 3 times and you're unarmed. Oh, come on. If he gets away, I'm telling you, if he gets away with this, and there's no prosecution by the government, and if the state prosecution is blocked, it's going to be a problem because he killed a white person. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, man. You kill a white person. I'm saying what
Even
nobody. I'm saying something nobody will say.
no charge laid on him right now.
Hmm?
There's nothing. Is there?
No, there's
He's
nothing.
just free. Like he's
He
got
went
his gun.
home. He went
He's
home,
around.
had a beer, had sex with his wife or maybe his husband, and that's it. Another day to go out and give Mexicans and immigrants a hard way to go and protesters.
Yeah.
Nothing. So I'm saying to you, if that holds, you're going to have a problem.
Mhm.
That will come up in any election now.
Mhm.
A Democrat will say, ICE has a job to do, but you can't just kill people. They can say that now because they murdered somebody. You didn't just use a non-lethal bullet and it just happened to knock your eye out. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? They didn't do that. That like
Live ammunition. Why are they even carrying guns? Like what's like how?
that is the point. Why are you carrying a gun? Why
Yeah.
do you need a gun? I mean, there's a good point. I mean, why do you need a gun? But
Yeah.
but U.S. law enforcement, guns are required. I've only seen a few police. There are only a few police departments I've seen. They had what they call Seattle had at one time community service officers. They had no guns. They would go in the community. We heard something's going on. We're here to work with you to try to resolve this issue. We're unarmed. We got backup we can call. We're unarmed. They would go out there with maybe bulletproof vests on. What I'm saying.
In England, the bobbies, the cops there, they don't carry guns, or
Right.
they didn't.
They have to call something. They have to call backup. Who has a gun? Yeah, they have to call backup. No.
Hmm.
So I'm saying this murder this woman, man. It's crazy. I mean, she's shooting a woman. Shooting a woman is really something. Oh yeah, they should. And she's a woman too. So we're talking about this is where the dynamics of American life come in. You shot a woman. Oh no. I mean, you shot a woman and she has children. Oh, you really done messed up. Shot her 3 times. Oh, what's wrong with you? And you walk away like it's all good. And then JD Vance is supporting you. Oh, this is really, and she's white too. Oh my God. You really stepped. That's why people are going to be outraged. The female, the female mom, unarmed and white. OMG. You done really screwed up. And Trump will have a hard time getting away with it. That's why maybe Trump isn't talking about it. Because Trump is not the one talking, it's Vance, the vice president talking. We'll see. And that's why today's demonstration is not just for Venezuela, it's for her and Venezuela. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mother, 3 kids,
Yeah.
not carrying a weapon,
Yeah.
grabbed out the car and is shot 3 times. Bam,
Yeah.
bam, bam.
The in the American sort of culture, like being in your car is like being in your home. Like your
Right. Yeah,
car is
yeah, yeah.
sacred
That's
space.
right. It's right. It really is. My God, I got here. My God.
Some
It's
guy
true.
comes along, and says, get out of your car, like for no good reason, and
He
then you
will
don't.
say no. He will say no. I get out the car. Right. Exactly. That's true. That's very true. That's very true. The American goes, the
Or,
car is like your home. What got my car? What you
oh,
my car? Leave me alone.
ah, through the windshield, in her own car, like Americans, I don't think are going to like that very
No,
much,
they no,
because,
no, no, no. And she wasn't armed. She didn't have a gun.
yeah, and she's not brown and she's not black, so like
Not
they
brown.
kind of
She's not black.
understand, like why this would happen, like
She's
this
not
doesn't,
native. She's not native.
like,
You can
like,
kill them. You can kill them. Okay, you can shoot them. I mean, I'm saying something that I cannot say in some quarters here. You can kill the black. You can kill the brown. You can kill the native. You can kill, maybe the Russian. I don't know about even the Russian, but you can't kill a white woman in the car with and she has children. Oh no, she doesn't have a gun. Oh no, you don't went too far.
yeah.
You don't went too
And the
far.
public this ICE agent, was carrying, like a shows, initially, saying, I'm not angry with you, she was like really, like nice. She was a nice woman, like she wasn't shouting at them, she wasn't swearing at them, she wasn't doing anything, she was just, like driving away. And then she gets shot, 3 times in the head.
Three times
Incredible.
in the
Three
head. I mean,
times, not
this
just
is
one time, like three
three
times,
times.
the fascist mentality, like why
Um,
did he shoot her 3 times?
you could no, you could have, but why shoot her at
Like,
all? She's
like,
leaving the scene. You has she committed some crime that warrants execution? No. Has she killed
yeah,
like okay, let me give you an example. There's a guy in Riverside, which is a suburb of LA, who had gone to somebody's house. He's alleged to have killed somebody at the house. That's the allegation. He went somewhere, he killed somebody. So he's escaping. He's driving down the street. He's escaping. I don't know if he's innocent. I don't know if he's guilty, but we assume innocence, even though he's claimed to kill somebody. So a policeman who's off duty gets involved and runs him off the road. Now, is that policeman going to be charged with a crime? No. Why? He's accused of killing somebody. Now he's dead. Case over. That's a situation where the police can openly get away with it. And people are saying, well, I don't know. No one's going to saying getting
mm,
because it's kind of there's some conflicting stories and he is supposed to murder somebody and somebody is dead and he may have murdered somebody. So I'm not saying it's right for him to have got run off the road. He didn't get killed. He didn't get killed, by the way. They didn't kill him. He did not die. They ran him off the road and then they arrested him. Okay,
mm,
and this man shot somebody supposedly. He's going to court over
yeah,
an alleged shooting. Again,
yeah,
we assume innocent until proven guilty, but he did
mm,
not. This guy supposedly had a gun. This lady did not have a gun. She wasn't
mm,
involved in nothing but driving down the street and driving away. And he didn't
mm,
try to keep. They didn't say radio ahead. So and so needs to be detained. There are ways you can find. You can catch somebody, man. Calling the
mm,
helicopter. You can. There are ways to deal with stuff. You ain't gotta. It's
yeah,
there's a ways to de-escalate. It's called de-escalation. And he did not de-escalate. And that's where they probably will get him. That's where a lawsuit from her family will get some money. He did not de-escalate. He just escalated. Law
mm,
enforcement is taught de-escalation. What he did was not following procedure. That's how Americans think. Did you follow procedure before you murdered them? If you did, okay, the murder is okay. If y'all don't know, that's how America thinks. If I follow procedure, I can murder you.
yeah, yeah. When I was arrested here, like we're trying to go into the Jewish Community Center, they put me in handcuffs and took me away and kept me in a cell, like all night with 4 fluorescent tubes, lit up, all night long, without food, like without bedding.
Without betting. Oh, well.
Like this is, police work called protocol. They called it protocol,
Protocol.
didn't
That's
have a
right.
choice. They had to do it.
Right. Protocol. 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 That's right. Protocol. We followed the protocols. So anything they did to you was within protocol. They cannot be nothing can be sustained as far as within the system. But what that do, there's nobody now can. If somebody comes up and says, "ICE can, Border Patrol can and they're not close to the border. How I guess Minnesota's close to the Canadian border. Okay, you're right. Well, we're in Canada. Even if it's Canada, we can be here. That's something else about Border Patrol. Border Patrol can only operate in certain areas. But now they're operating everywhere. It used to be Border Patrol can only be in a community so many hundred miles from the border. Now they're everywhere. So I don't know what's going on with that shit. But he definitely there'll definitely be a family lawsuit, and they're gonna win some money. In America, lawsuits like that, you win money. Sure, I mean, but the kid's mama's gonna not gonna come back. Mama can't come back with the money, right? I mean,
Father, the father has died, so these kids are in a poor situation. Yeah,
they're very, very bad for the family. Now they're all messed up. They're traumatized the rest of their life. This it's
yeah,
just it brings a lot of things that go on in American life that people don't talk about trauma, the kids, how law enforcement get away with anything they want to get away with. And it's but that's who kidnapped Maduro. The same people. That's who beat Maduro's wife. That's the same people. That's who bombed Nigeria. The same people. And Somalia. The same people. And killed people on the open seas in the Caribbean Ocean. Same people who seized the Russian and Chinese and Venezuelan boats. Same people. Same country. That's
yeah,
tyranny.
yeah.
Same country.
So,
Not organization. Not the United Nations. Not the Confederation. The United States.
okay, so they think they can get away with this, right? Now, are they going to get away with it? Have they overextended themselves? Are they like this fascist, character, Ross? He murdered, this woman, you know,
Yeah,
for what reason? Because she resisted, because she was driving away when he ordered her to get out of her car.
that means
That
she
was
has
the
to
only,
die.
even though she wasn't accused of anything, even though there was no infraction, no traffic violation, nothing.
He has to shoot her. This is what I'm saying. She has to die. That's the question. She has to die.
On, she was not obstructing at all.
Uh,
There was no possible reason, for them to have done this, So have they overextended themselves? I think they
I
have.
think they have. Yeah, I think this one is the decision Maduro is on international scale overstepping. Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. And being of his wife,
Yeah.
definitely, no doubt about it. And this United States, yes, no doubt about it. So they've overstepped their grounds internationally, I agree, and nationally. Yes, yes.
So, you know, they arrested him, for whatever charges they could trump up, but they didn't kill him. They didn't assassinate him.
Right.
Why?
Yeah. Wish they
Because
could
they could.
have. Wish they could have.
They,
They
yeah,
could
they
have.
could have.
They could have.
Just like Allende, like he was assassinated in his office, like in the coup. Okay. They could have done the same thing, but they didn't.
They
Why?
could
Because they
have.
knew couldn't get away with it. Okay. So now they had to, Maduro, he's got, like the court. He's got a court to talk in, like he's going to be able to say anything, that he wants to say in court.
That's true.
So
That's
they're
true.
going to be, in a difficult sort of position here, because
Mm.
ordinarily, they wanted to get rid of him, and they would have assassinated him, but they couldn't. Okay, so now he's got a voice. He's got a court hearing.
Good
He
point.
can speak up, and everybody's going to be there to listen to him, and they can, tell everybody, what he's saying. He's got a voice now that is going to speak to all the Americans. Oh, this is this is something that they didn't well they didn't think the Americans would understand him because he's speaking Spanish, like
It's,
no
it's,
way. There's a lot of people who speak
translate.
Spanish in America, and there's also people who know Spanish and American, to translate into American, so people are going to know what Mandela is going to be saying. And then his wife, like, if I were a judge in this court, I would say right away, like, this has nothing, she has nothing to do with, like her husband, like, and she should be released, immediately.
Yeah, well,
But,
so some people
oh,
are
they
pushing.
will.
Some people are pushing for that. Some people have thought that should be a strategy of the protest movement. She should be released immediately.
Yeah, yeah,
Plus
yeah,
she's openly been beaten. She's openly been beaten. It's clear she has bruises on her face. That didn't come
yeah,
from getting up. Hey, I fell down. No. Sorry,
yeah,
no.
yeah,
She's openly been beaten, and the Venezuelans are demanding their return anyway. So if they wanted to lessen the tension, they would let her go. That'd be a smart move on them.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm saying, and it would help them save some face because the world. Did you read that Nigeria, excuse me, Algeria is saying we're not saying nothing because we don't want them to come after us.
Yeah.
There's an article in the paper that said that Algeria is saying they're not getting involved in it. No, we ain't got no comment because
Yeah.
they're trying to, as they say, keep their head down.
Yeah.
Imagine a country that's the state of the world. I have to keep my head down so y'all don't come bully us.
Yeah. Uh-huh. There's a funny thing that happened when Trump was he offered to go and help the Iranian protesters, saying
Oh,
that
yeah, sure.
like he would come and save the Iranian protesters against the theocratic regime there. Okay. Ah,
Which means he's already helping them. That's what that means.
okay. So if he thinks that the United States has a right, to go into Iran and help the protesters there against the elected government of Iran, well, then, like if, there's a repression of Americans in the current protests, like wave, why couldn't we Canadians come in there with our military and support the demonstrators against the fascists, ICE agents? We could. You
But
know.
didn't wait a minute, wait a minute, wait. Let me tell you, who took it one step further? Didn't what's the brother's name in Russia, the former president? Medvedev said, "Well, we should just go and kidnap Mertz and bring him to put him in Siberia in jail." He did say that. Medvedev this week said that Russia should kidnap the president of Germany and put him in jail in Siberia, and they took it seriously. Germany got all upset, and we had defensive ready for you. So right, the whole thing can just go. The whole world can just go haywire. The whole world can just let's just intervene and grab people and you know get it on. That was like, let's get it on. I was like, whoa, man, but then shut up. He was kind of, he says anything. He's kind of joking, but he's kind of serious. Let's kidnap him and put him in Siberia. And what? And then Dugin said Russia should create its own Monroe Doctrine and control the whole area. So it's really getting out. It's really kind of when the rhetoric starts flowing like that, it's kind of getting out of hand. Because these are kind of they're joking, but I don't think Dugan's joking at all. And Medvedev, I don't know, man. It's just can you believe it? That's what you're saying. So Canada, come on in and help us in the United States. We need some help, man. And wants to come on and help us out. You know, come on
Don't have to
in.
come,
We need some
don't have
help.
to in uniform. No, come down there, across the border in civilian dress, like,
That's all you got to do.
and then there's guns all over the place, so we can pick up some.
That's easy here. That's
What does it
easy
mean?
here. No problem. We can get it. You know?
If the ICE agents want to start shooting, like, well, we've got a way to defend ourselves.
Oh
We
yeah.
got help from the Canadian military who come and save you. Yeah, man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I do think though that U.S. and Israel have.
Strike, military strategy. Preemptive strike to go in there and help, the American Revolution get rid of these fascist regime. Okay, let's do it. We could do that.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I just.
Well,
I don't know, but it's definitely.
now,
It,
if he only has, had 29%, support, to attack Venezuela before, now, that support's probably gone down even, a bit, So they're, like set up now with this current wave is going to create a momentum, political momentum, has consequences that are unforeseen. So when the elections coming up, the Republicans are going to lose, there's going to be a lot of independents and independent-minded, Democrats are going to be winning there. So what are they going to do? Are they going to cancel the election, declare martial law, not have an election? What's going to happen there? Are they going to try to
people,
gerrymander the election results,
well, at one point, people said that when he first came in power, some people were saying Trump will just cancel elections. But now, with how things are going now, especially with the protests against ICE, um, he would love to cancel the elections because Trump doesn't want the elections. Because with elections, he has a chance. The Republicans have a chance of losing. and they know that now. The killing of Miss Good overcomes any increase in support he may have gotten for Venezuela. He may have gotten some support from Venezuela, but killing a woman in her car who is white, who's not armed, driving away with kids, no, 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 no. You cross too many lines, and then saying he's immune, no, nobody's immune. He,
Mm,
so that really, I think JD Vance's comments really hurt them. If he would have
mhm,
shut up and not said nothing and let the prosecution take its course, let the investigation take its course and don't say nothing. Sometimes shutting up is the best, especially when you're in a tenuous situation. I say it again: white woman, not armed, no criminal background, three children in her car. Yes, she's driving away. There's other ways to detain her besides killing her. That's all
mhm.
somebody has to say. What I just said is her defense.
Yeah, that's a readily understandable defense, for Americans.
For
The
Americans, yeah, for Americans, that's the defense. One, two,
American,
three, four, five. She does not have to die for driving away, and she's dead. No, I'm telling you, that could be what helps push Trump out of office. If anything could get an anti-Trump movement going, that could be the spark, not Venezuela. I hate to say that, but
yeah.
it's just I told you before about America and South America. Some don't give a damn. Some that's their vacation. That some just want to steal the oil, and they don't really see a minority of people see what the U.S. is doing around the world is wrong. It's not even close to majority. But
Right.
some who are majority thinkers will say, why do they have to shoot her? They're gonna say that. Why do they have to shoot her? Could they have got caught or some other issue? They want to detain her. They have helicopters. They have police from Minneapolis. You have to shoot her. That's all I can say.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Wow. Um, so I'd like to just share what I have on my Facebook page and to bring up some more information. Let's see if I can find my Facebook page here somewhere. Just a moment here. Okay. No, I haven't been able to do it. Let's see now. Whoa, wait a second. My record is not lit up. Are we recording? Okay, let's end the session to see what happens. Record this meeting. It's not recording. Are you recording?
I am muted now, but it does say recording. Yes, it does.
Okay, you are recording. My record is not it's not working here. Okay. So at least you recorded. Okay, so we can get this up. Okay, good. So if you can put it up on your channel, Pantherism, and uh, and if you can send me the video by WeTransfer, then I can put it up.